completely confidential. Even if you've already been to treatment, give them a call. There's no need to let drugs and alcohol ruin your life. Take the first step now. Call the True Sobriety Hotline at 800-995-3707. That's 800-995-3707. 800-995-3707. The Addiction Rehab Specialist is an advertisement for various treatment centers and placement services. Not all insurance is accepted. Individual results vary. Not available in Florida.
1450
Showtime.
WP4PJ, Washington, 95.9 WPRS HD2, Waldorf, WKYS HD, Washington, WMMJ HD2, Bethesda, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
There we go.
Let's figure it out on the Archie Beslow radio show. He cares, he shares, he knows. The journey of our youth is in our control. So tell your family and tell your friends that the word on the street is we all should listen in. So let's figure it out on the Archie Beslow radio show.
Good evening, and thank you for another beautiful, what's it today, Sunday? Yeah, that's right, Sunday. A beautiful sunny Sunday. I think the temperature was about 85 degrees or close to 90. I guess it was, I don't know, but hey, it's good to be here. It's good to be amongst the land of the living. It's also good to be on my radio show, the Archie Beslow radio show, Let's Figure It Out. You guys know how I do. I want to thank God Almighty for giving me the platform. I want to thank my mom and my dad. And I want to thank all my supporters, man. Without you guys, I wouldn't be who I am today. I also want to take time out to give a shout out to my man, Dr. William Flip Clay. He had a book signing yesterday, and the title of the book is called The Diary of a Constipated Man. I hope I'm saying it right. But anyways, it was a very powerful event that he had yesterday, and the way that he presented his story, it even had me in awe, because Dr. Clay is a phenomenal brother in itself, based off of the things that he does for the community and he does across the country. He's a very profound speaker. He speaks very well. He touches on subjects that a lot of people are afraid to touch on. And he's a very powerful brother to me, because he tells the world about his innermost, darkest secrets. A wise person once told me, Archie, you're going to change lives based off of your testimony. Your story is going to change lives. It's not going to be some fabricated whatever. It's going to be your actual story. It's going to change someone's lives. And I want to let Dr. Clay know that, man, last night was so powerful. It actually changed my life, listening to how you told your life stories, the trials and tribulations that you came through, but you also persevered. And man, I'm honored to call you a friend, and thank you for having me there to host the event. It was a very good show. So I'm gonna get into my show today. You guys are lucky, and I'm gonna say it, you're very lucky, because I have in the studio with me today is a very good friend of mine. I don't have a problem saying that I love the dude. I don't have a problem edifying the dude. I don't have a problem saying I'm proud of the dude. Brother Mitch Credle. Am I saying, is it Credle?
That's Cradle, like
Cradle?
a baby cradle.
Like a baby cradle.
There's an E in it somewhere for some reason.
Brother Mitch. Man, Mitch, we're going to just, first of all, I'm going to allow Mitch to introduce himself and, let the good people, my 200,000 plus listeners, let them know a little bit about Brother Mitch before we get into the show.
Oh, wow. Mitch Credle. I am a retired homicide detective here in Washington, D.C., where I was on the police department for 29 years. 23 of those years were investigating homicides. 3 of those years were investigating sexual assault cases. And even before that, in 1986, before I joined the police department, back in 1982, I started doing community service work with youth.
Okay.
And that carried me from 1982 through even today. I still work with youth. And that's just me, man. I'm just a community-based type police officer. Matter of fact, And you should know this. We were doing community policing before they even invented community policing.
Yes, sir.
You know, so they just didn't let us know they were going to come up with the concept. But yeah, I'm just a community type person, and I'm going to continue to rock in the community and just continue to be me.
So give me the title of your two movies, Mitch.
My first movie, which is on Amazon, is called Boss One, which is, Boss. It's an urban fictional film. And the second one is Boss 2, which will be on Amazon pretty soon. And those came from me writing books years ago. So I wanted to jump into filmmaking. And from this point on, me and Anthony Commodore of CIF, Commodore Independent Film Works, we're now putting together television series.
Awesome.
And we're moving forward, helping, of course, our people here in the DMV, and we're just going to keep rocking.
So based off of what you've been doing, and your Facebook page, man, is very informative and is very inspiring. Tell the listeners how you actually giving back to the young people in our community.
Well, for years, I'm talking like 35 plus years, I was a youth athletic coach with basketball and football, a mentor, father to thousands. I couldn't even give you an exact number. And so what I did was when I retired, I just took the same concept of coaching youth basketball and just brought it into the film production. Now I teach youth film production. And also with film production, through Safe House DC, which is our non-profit youth organization, we teach the film production, the financial literacy, entrepreneurship, job readiness, alternatives to violence, life skills, just all the things that youth will need moving forward once they leave high school. Okay.
So, again, this is the Archie Beslow Show. Let's figure it out. The call-in number is 800-450-7876, 800-450-7876. So, like a lot of my guests, I don't give my guests a script. I don't tell my guests where I'm going because, you know me, I like for people to speak from their heart and to be on point with how they feel about topics opposed to researching. So we're going to take you guys around the world in D.C.
Let's go.
Both me and Mitch are D.C. heads, man. We D.C. dudes. We came up in the streets, and let me clarify that too for my people. Whenever somebody say they came up in the streets, don't always constitute it as coming up doing something bad, whether drugging, and it's just a term that we use because we came up in the streets, which means we spend a lot of time outside on the playground, outside at camps. We were outside kids.
We were on the street.
We was on the street, right?
I grew up in Butler Gardens as a kid, and we go outside 7 in the morning. We didn't come back inside until 10 o'clock at night. We were young, we were energetic, we didn't worry about food. Of course, we went to the store to get food our ways. But we just stayed outside, and we were on the streets. And then we moved uptown Northwest back when I was 12 years old. The same occurred. We stayed outside all the time.
All right. Yeah. So fasten your seat belts. We're about to take this journey. So, Mitch, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to call out. I'm just going to say a word. And with that word, we're going to just go into it. And remember, I know I got 200,000 some listeners, but everything that we talk about can relate to anybody in the entire country. But we're focusing on the DMV right now because that's what we can speak about.
Okay, that's great.
All right. So when I say murder, the first thing come to mind.
Wow, when you say murder, first thing come to mind, just for me, just several flashbacks of all of the young black children, really, that I've seen stretched out on the streets of D.C. And for me, when someone say murder, it just automatically just go back to all of the images that I've seen. I couldn't even give you a number of the gunned down young black men that I've seen in D.C. I can't. So when you say murder, I see it. Then I see the families. I see so much. It's almost like a television show is just playing back because I've been just connected with so many families, and I become connected with so many families moving forward just because of murder.
And it's funny. I was in Jump Out, and people always ask me, did I take my police job home with me? No, best I can, I didn't. I didn't. But you know what bothered me, and to this day it sticks with me, Mitch, is that when there's a young man on the ground that has been gunned down and that's his past, he's expired, and I had to tell his mother, his brother, and his sister to step out of the crime scene, to back up. You know how that hurts, man.
It's hard, and like I've always told people, one of the hardest things for me to do is to make the notifications.
Right.
And I say that because you know, a lot of the families knew who I was, so me walking up to their door was like the Grim Reaper was coming. Man, they knew bad news was going to come their way if I'm knocking on the door. I had some fathers who look out the window and see me, and they wouldn't even open their door. Wow. They didn't want to hear the news. You know, so I understand what you're saying about that crime scene. It's hard, it's tough.
There was a situation, and I'm not going to, you know, for the sake of confidentiality, I was on the scene, and I think I just happened to come on the scene. I was doing an investigation, and I came on the scene of an expired body, mm-hmm. and I did the proper, you know, call, do what the things that you do, and I would never forget this. Once we set up the crime scene, the young lady, there was a kid that came out, and she just bust out crying, and she said, I'm going to just make up a name. She said, Tony, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I'm sitting there I'm like frozen. She's wake up, wake up. You promised me that we were going to go and get XYZ. And mind you, she really thought he was asleep. She didn't realize that what had happened. Yeah. And like you saying, I didn't go... And of course, I couldn't tell the young lady what happened. So now I'm like looking for an adult to give the information to the adult. And so now I'm stuck. So the young lady is steady, and she's getting closer and closer to the crime scene. So now I'm in that mode where I have to tell the young lady, you have to step back. Mm-hmm. And at that point, another adult came out and screamed, they shot Tony. Oh my God, they shot Tony. So now she's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you not understanding? And she just lost it. So now I'm in between a young lady, a victim. It's tough, man. And that's the part. And it ain't got nothing to do with policing. It got everything to do with life, man. Yeah. And people don't realize what we go through.
They have no idea. I mean, just listen to what you just explained. I think the toughest on-scene situation for me was it was a 16, matter of fact, it was right off T Street, a 16-year-old kid who I knew since he was a baby, mm-hmm. was murdered, and he had become a witness in a case. Wow. And what happened was, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want him to be a witness in the case, but because he saw his friend murdered, he wanted to be a witness, and I'm trying to talk him out of not doing it. Try to talk, you know, me and his moms were like, no, he can't do this, but because he saw his friend murdered, he wanted to tell. And I was trying to get him to understand, you're only 16 years old, you can't do this, you can't do that. But what ended up happening was he was placed away, and then he came back to the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And he shouldn't have, the older guys tricked him into coming back to the neighborhood. And they ended up murdering him. And what happened was, when I got the call 3 o'clock that morning, I arrived on the crime scene. I seen all the tape, everything. As I'm walking closer down North Capitol Street to the crime scene, I see his mother. Wow. And I'm walking with the prosecutor and another prosecutor, and we're walking towards the mother. And I just knew that this mother was going to just punch me in my face. Yeah, man. And I was ready to take the punch. Yep. Whatever she wanted to do to me physically, I was ready to take that. Yes, because in my mind, I felt as though I got her son murdered because he wanted to be a witness in the case because I was a detective on the case. And I did not want him to be a witness in the case, but he wanted to. But what happened was when I got close to the moms, she just grabbed me and hugged me real tight, and she was squeezing me. And she said, Mitch, you know, this is not your fault. You know, he wanted to do this. Wow. You didn't want him to do this, but he wanted to do this. So don't take the blame for that. And we all just stood there and cried, man. We cried for maybe probably half an hour, man, because I just couldn't get myself together. I felt as though it was my fault, right. You know. But she assured me that it wasn't. But even today, I still feel as though it was my fault.
All right, wow. 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876, the Archie Beslow Show. I got my good friend, my dynamite partner, man, Brother Mitch Credle. We also have a call on the line. Caller?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Coach Hill, and I happen to know both of you guys. I'm really pleased that you're having this. This show is very important and necessary. I know you, Archie. We met a few years ago on a show on another station, and we were talking about youth sports and that kind of thing like that.
On the Daily Drum with Harold Fisher.
That's it.
My man, what's up, brother?
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, friend.
Mitch, And Mitch is like my part of my family. I've been knowing him.
Oh man, that's my brother.
7, 9 years old. You know, Raymond. But I have a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
One is Mitch talked a little bit about the impact of sports, the youth in this city in terms of crime and the decline in participation in sports at all levels. And also talk a little bit about the institutions like the Police Boys and Girls Club and others who were like a bedrock for those communities. Now all of them are gone. And talk about the impact of that on the youth and our listeners.
Yeah,
right.
with what you just said, all of that goes together because as Archie knows, he coaches youth sports also. It's very important to have youth programs throughout the city, and I don't mean just in certain neighborhoods, even in Prince George's County. It's very important because sports build character. It keeps kids busy. It helps with discipline, structure, all the things that youth need in life moving forward as adults. You get it from sports because all of us, myself, Archie, and other guys who are our age, everything that we're doing now is accredited to what we went through as far as dealing with youth sports, because if we didn't have those coaches who were like dads to us, we wouldn't have made it. I mean, even though a lot of us had fathers in the household, those coaches were closer to us than some of our dads were. They spent more time with us than some of our dads, and those coaches were very important. And with the programs, those programs are like institutions, because as of the day, you could take a lot of guys in between ages of 40 and 60 years old. We can talk weeks and weeks and weeks about all the youth programs we were involved in. And when you talk to youth today, it's only very few. And I think that's hurting a lot of the communities, because a lot of these coaches were from the communities where we're from. So the police didn't have to police us. The coaches in the community policed us. Therefore, we didn't have to worry about the police because the community kept us in check. And it was our job, even as coaches, to keep people in check. I mean, you can... if I'm your youth coach, your mom's gonna call me 2, 3 o'clock in the morning if you're not at home. 9 o'clock in the morning if you're somewhere, we're coming to get you because we were part of an extended community family, which today that does not exist. And I think that is a big problem with a lot of the violence today. That the community aspect of being a family, from the family, the coaches, and just the older guys in the neighborhoods, that don't exist today, and that's why things are the way they are.
And also, Ed, I'm gonna chime in. You got, like everybody know, I'm a mentor, so I talk to a lot of, just like Brother Mitch, we talk to a lot of young ladies and young men. What I take from it, Brother Ed, is we're not giving our young folks the venues and the opportunities to edify themselves or to edify each other. I came through number 11 Boys and Girls Club, so for us to go to practice and do well in practice, and then we go back in our neighborhood and brag to each other, man, I outblocked you in practice, man. I scored 2 touchdowns on you in practice. So the conversations left from those structured environments. I came through Bald Eagle. I came through Fort Greble. I came through Friendship when they had the Recreation Center. Those things that are now taken away from our kids has a lot to do with our kids. So what's going on is you're going to have your guys that are bad guys. They do that. But now the guys that want to be good guys, they don't have any structured places to go to because a lot of parents don't have the $100 to pay to get these kids in these programs. So now guess what? They run into crime, into other bad things to get themselves edified and to get themselves noticed. Yeah. So we have a lot of great kids, but we're actually running our kids to the troubles. And we all take a pause because that joint just...
It's deep. That's the truth. You're right. We're running them into the trouble.
We're actually... the adults are the demise of our young people. And people can challenge it all day long. The adults are getting more comfortable than the kids. The kids are recognizing that the adults are comfortable, and they're recognizing what they can do to get over on their parents. And what they're doing is they're playing a game against the parents to lull the parents to sleep so they can go out and do whatever they want to do, whether it be getting high, having sex, or just, you name it. Kids are monitoring their parents' actions, and they're gonna act accordingly to get away with the things they know they can get away with. You still with me, Brother Ed? All right, we're gonna go right to Ben. I think Brother Ed said he just wanted to listen. Let's see what Brother Ben talking about. Ben, you on there?
Yeah, I'm on. Hey.
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
Hey, 2 of my favorite people.
Oh, man, my man Ben Collins.
Hey, I just wanted, me and Mitch go way back. And I really got to know Mitch 10 years ago when I was working with some kids in my neighborhood up in Baltimore. And he actually, he was running the Tom Jones Youth Summer League in number 10 Boys and Girls Club. And he actually allowed me to put my kids in his league. And it was a good thing for both the kids in D.C. And the kids in Baltimore because I got a chance to get the kids from Baltimore. And I don't know if Mitch remember that old beat-up church van we used to ride.
I remember.
And the old church van on Saturday morning, and they would go to D.C. and spend the whole day in D.C. playing basketball. And they had a chance to get out the neighborhood. You know, we went and did some things after the game or what have you. And, you know, we got them back to Baltimore, and the kids in Baltimore were excited, and the kids in D.C. were excited to be playing, you know, kids from Baltimore. So it was a positive thing all the way around. The good thing about it is that a lot of these young men are now growing up to be some really productive young citizens, and I didn't realize the impact that we had on them until a lot of them hitting their 30s now. And they tell me that, you know, how going to D.C. on Saturdays was how much of an impact it had. And they always talk about the short dude that used to referee games.
I want to chime in what you're saying, Ben, and what you're saying is very powerful. And it goes back to we have to put our young adults and our children into situations where they can tell their stories, and kids want to have quality conversations. There's no kid that want to have a negative, gang banging, bullying, dynamite hustler, you know, whatever. I'm that dude. Kids want to talk about things like getting good grades. You got that good grade clique. You got the athletic clique. You got the kids that can dress clique. You got the kids that are phenomenal in church. Kids, they want to create their own positive stories, but they have to have platforms and venues where they can actually interact with one another. And what's going on is a lot of that is being taken away. Yeah. And the powers that be, and we can say we both retired.
But that's a key right there. The powers to be, the decision makers. Go and continue.
Yeah, the decision makers, man. So I'm gonna jump out there. I'm 50, getting older. When they start changing our recreation centers and making them for everybody, it ran the kids away. Kids want the recreation centers were safe havens for our kids. When we grew up, we didn't have adults in our recreation centers. I mean, we didn't.
It's like being evicted. The kids were evicted for adult programs in kids' spaces.
Right. So now, so where are we going to go? So the young people are like, you know what, man, I'm going to stand on the corner because I can't interact with my peers in recreation center like I want to. So I'm going to go on a corner where that's our holy ground. And guess what? You know what you're doing on the corner. But if you're on somebody's corner, that's their turf. If you're on somebody's corner, that's where their man got jumped. You don't know what took place on that corner before you actually stood on that corner. So you're standing in an environment of the unknown.
Yes, I'm fighting a battle here in Baltimore where they decided to take all the bad boys down from all of the schools, outdoor basketball courts, which is the most ridiculous thing I've heard of. They've taken them all down. And the kids just don't know where to play basketball anymore. You know,
So guess where they going, Ben?
Make these kind of decisions. You know what I mean?
So they gonna make Miss Murray nervous because now Miss Murray she can't come outside and water her plants because she gonna be nervous because now the kids are hanging out at Troy house and live right beside her. So now you can't get mad at the kids that's hanging out at Troy house because guess what? They like playing basketball, but now they can't even hoop no more because once again, whoever's making these decisions are saying, hey, you're not wanted here on a basketball court that was created in the first place for kids that have something extra to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And see, for me, first of all, I'm not the person in charge. If I was the person in charge, first of all, I'm going to put people in positions who can have an influence. I'm going to put people in positions who know what the kids need. I'm going to put people in positions who know where the kids are going, know where they came from, who can relate to the kids. I'm not going to put someone in a position because I hired them from out of town, and they got this kind of degree. Man, I don't care about degrees, okay? We all go to college. We all been to college. We do all that. But the key is I want someone in position that's going to help this community, help this center, help these kids, and we all can work together. But what's happening is we're ignoring the people who can help. Let me tell you something right quick. I don't even know if Archie can relate to this, or you've been, but I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing community service work since 1982. Joined the police department in 1986. Not one time, I don't know if you maybe you have, Archie. Not one time have I ever been approached by any official in the police department, any officials in the mayor's office, any officials from the city council. I've never been approached by anyone asking me, how can we help youth in this area? How can we make things better for our youth? How can we do this? And I've been doing it not necessarily by myself, but I've been doing it without government contracts. I've been doing it without being affiliated with anyone. And it's not just me. There are probably hundreds of officers between Maryland, D.C., Baltimore, all in this region that work with youth, and no one in charge will ask any of us, how can we make the communities better? Nope. They don't.
And we come out of pocket, man. Not that we complain.
Yeah, I'll jump out there because this people might think I'm getting caked up, but this is paid airtime. I'm paying to change lives, so don't get it twisted for my listeners. I'm not getting a check. I'm giving a check, and I'm giving a check because from the bottom of my heart, I want to bring change. And like Mitch saying, there are countless of people that see what Mitch and myself do. We both got books out. We're both active in the community. I have a public Facebook page. So everything that I do is helping other people. Exactly. And once again, the powers that be are not reaching out.
They don't reach out to people like us because we have answers. And it's not their answers.
Right. Hey, y'all brothers have a good one.
All right, man.
Same to you, man.
We man, so we're gonna throw another word out. We gonna this is another word, Mitch. You ready?
I'm ready.
Domestic violence.
Wow. Domestic violence. When I see domestic violence, a great deal of I've interviewed hundreds of guys who were arrested for domestic violence, and some women. And a lot of the guys who were arrested because of domestic violence, it's almost like learned behavior, man.
Facts.
Yeah, it's like it was in their household when they were kids. You know, it was how they were beaten when they were young, what they saw their moms go through. And now here it is, they taking the same treatment and applying it to the women of today. And they say they're remorseful for what they've done, but the root of it is, man, a lot of it is scary. It's learned behavior.
We're all I call it a snap away from doing something that we will regret.
Yeah.
And by no means, I'm not condoning anything negative, but I'm a realist. There are a lot of people out here that are provoked.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out here that have been crying out for help. We ain't talking about within that minute or within that hour or that day. We got people that's been crying out for help for years. And guess what? They say, okay, well, you're not going to interact with me. Okay, well, I'm going to do an act because I'm done. And people talk about mental health. I get it. We're now that's a whole
different word.
So my thing is,
man,
when we came up back in the day, mental health wasn't even really talked about.
It was ignored.
It was ignored. So now a lot of kids and adults that were ignored back in the day, they're acting out because guess what? They was not informed.
Yeah.
Nobody diagnosed them. Nobody helped them.
No treatment, nothing.
And the thing that hurts a lot of people when your immediate family don't grab you up. If you're a family member, you should never give up on me.
Yeah.
If I'm going through something.
No, you're right. And just by you mentioning that, I remember when I was like 8 years old, I remember my grandfather came to the house one day intoxicated. He was like, he was calling my grandmother, telling her, come on, let's go, come on, let's go. And she like, no, leave me alone. What do you want? He said, come on out here so I go whoop your ASS. And I'm sitting there like, huh?
Right.
I'm like, my grandfather, that's my hero.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because that's something you don't see.
Right.
And I just happened to hear him say that one day, and I'm confused. I'm like, I know daggone well grandpa don't hit grandma. Right. Which I still don't know if it was true or not, but just to hear him say it when I was 8 years old made me think, man, maybe it was in my household. I never even really knew about it.
It's prevalent in a lot of man. Y'all, and Nikki know me. My engineer know me. When I pause and stuck, my emotions start running all over the place. Hey, call in and join this conversation. 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. What do you say to that male figure, and we're going to do both sides, that his girlfriend, wife, friend, or whatever keeps egging him on to force him to retaliate, to throw a punch, to throw something at a wall? Is it, and that's a talk show. At what point is enough is enough?
Let me tell you something, Archie. I've had grown men, when I was a detective, police, or whatever, I've had grown men call me and have me meet them somewhere. I go meet them on the corner where I want to meet them at. They get in my car and start crying. I'm like, why are you crying? Mitch, man, I don't want to hit my woman. But then they tell me all the things that was done to them to almost make them want to hit them. So I let them sit there and just cry it out because they don't want to be abusive.
Right.
But they were being abused.
Yeah.
And they said, Mitch, I just cannot hit my woman, but she keep putting her hands on me. She keep doing this, she keep doing that. So I leave him in the car. I go talk to her, and she's like, well, he shouldn't have done this. I'm like, hold, slow down, look. And I'm trying to explain to her, you're being abusive. But a great deal of people were raised to believe that women hitting men is not abuse.
Okay.
That's putting a man in check.
Right.
But it's abuse.
It's abuse.
And to have grown men call me and sit in my cars crying, or you go to the house when you separate them, you know how you separate them, you go on the scene. Yeah. The man in the room crying because he's so angry that he can't, first of all, he can't hit it back. He don't want to hit it back, but he's constantly being abused.
Mitch, so like I said, I do a lot of house visits when I talk to families and kids. Whenever anyone say, I've had enough and I can't take it anymore, someone needs to pull that person up because that person is a moment away from doing something that they're going to regret. What do you have to, so now we're going to shift it. What do we say about our women that's in these environments when these guys just keep whipping them, being abusive, and the woman doesn't leave?
Well, that happens a lot, and first of all, a lot of them keep it quiet. And a lot of times, a lot of them, from the cases I've dealt with, a lot of them keep it quiet because of the economic situation.
Yes.
A lot of them stay because the man is providing. They don't want to break up the family. They just don't want to get back into that game of dating. They want the household to stay there. They feel as though he's going to change. That's the biggest thing right there. They always feel as though he's going to change, but he's not going to change. When we take the man out of the house, and then we try to put the woman or take the woman out of the house, if she goes back, a lot of times it turns to murder. Because the guys just snap, and they're not going to stop with their abuse. But a lot of women, which, I'm not talking bad about anyone.
Oh, no, this public
but
radio.
We physically almost have to take the woman out the house, then they turn against us.
Yeah, they do.
They turn against us because we're separating them, or we try to arrest a guy, they turn against us. That's why now with the new domestic laws is, in most states, if there is domestic violence and you can show that both sides are being physical, you can arrest both.
Right.
But years ago, it was just always arresting the man.
Always arresting the man.
Always arresting the man.
Who threw the punch?
Exactly.
So a lot of times you get there, somebody say, he threw the punch, I threw the punch. Oh, y'all both going.
Exactly. But now it's different, and it hurts me when I know a woman is staying in a situation of abuse because she don't want to change her economic status because he's taking care of the household. It's sad, man, because the kids are seeing it. You're steady getting beat. You're trying to hide your bruises, and it's not worth it. And no matter how much we talk to the guy feels as though that's how he's supposed to maintain his household through fear, through threats, through abuse, which is totally wrong, man. It's wrong.
All right. Again, 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. Please call in and join on the conversation. Wait for my brother Keith Childs to call in. Brother Keith, give us a call, 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. Let me throw this other word at you, man. Bullying.
Oh wow.
That's the hot
deep.
topic, right? All across the country, right?
Yeah, that's hot, man.
So what we gonna,
That's-
Mitch? What we
that's
gonna
real
do
hot.
with you and I? You know how we like the bobblehead twins, man. We got a whole bunch of solutions. We gonna give people solutions. So you go ahead, you start with your solutions, and I'm gonna piggyback off of your job.
With bullying, bullying has a lot to do with youth who are being guided improperly. A lot of parents who have children who are bullies, they don't feel as though their kids are being bullied. I just dealt with a bullying situation in summer camp, and it's two girls bullying a boy. The boy, he's a little soft, but he's a nice kid, and he felt as though he was being bullied, and so it's more of the girls were being aggressive, and so when we talk to the girls, we're like, look, you can't be this way with him, regardless of what he say to you can't be this way with him. Just calm down. And then when I look at the girls, it's more like, it's like they just used to just being aggressive. So a lot of times the kids who are being bullied just happen to cross over to an aggressive environment that they're really not used to. And the kids who are in an aggressive environment, that's their norm. That's their norm. That's why as parents, we have to know what environments our kids are going into, because what could be normal for some kids can be bullying for another.
Right.
And when we do recognize that there is bullying, that's when the parents need to communicate with each other, opposed to thinking, I don't want no adult talking to my child.
Right.
That's when it has to be an understanding, so it can be met to know why your child is acting this way towards my child, and let's work out a way, because if there is environmental differences, the way our kids are in their own environments, and then the classes when the two environments meet, because the kids is totally different. If there's a problem, the parents have to be involved and stop allowing the kids to handle it. And the kids who are being bullied, they have to tell the parent. Right. You don't want to tell your parent, tell an adult that you trust. Someone has to know, because if anyone know, the bullying is going to continue. And I think that's one of the biggest problems is the kids who are being bullied are afraid to speak out.
And that's a valid, again, the number is 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. You hit something on the head, man. People that are bullied, and I don't have the stats, but I do talk to a lot of young men and young women. They come from a place where they're not getting a lot of attention at home, or the attention that they are getting at home is like their parents are abusive in their delivery with how they talk to the kids. Exactly. So now the child is intimidated by mom and dad. So now they don't want to go and bring some more negative information to their mom and dad, because they don't know how. So actually, the parents are bullying the kids without even knowing it.
Right.
You think
having them afraid to talk.
Having them afraid to talk. Yeah. That's bullying.
No, you have to have a relationship with your child, man. I'm telling you, all parents, you have to have. You do not want your child out here being depressed. You don't want your child out here committing suicide. Have dialogue with your children every day.
Every day,
every day.
And the funny thing about it, because you have to build a relationship with your child. We're not building relationships with our kids.
Yeah.
But you're gonna, and I say it often, but your homie, your ride or die, female buddy, your bestie, whomever, y'all are inseparable. Y'all talk on the phone all day long. Whether you're talking about Power, you're talking about these reality shows, you're talking about these new pair of shoes, you're talking about the Pink and White affair. You all in it.
Yeah, all in it.
You all in it.
But you're ignoring your child.
But you're ignoring your child. Because you're giving your child just the bare minimum. And you know you're giving your child a bare minimum, because you're going to talk to him, and then you're going to put a period behind it with a frown face, a tight face.
You're right. Now, like an example, I call her, my daughter, she's sitting there, I call her and ask her how was the day. And she'll answer, it was okay. But to me, that means a lot. But to her, she probably like, that's all he wanted.
Right, you're right.
That's all he want. But I just want to see, I want to hear her voice. I want to see how her demeanor is. Because if it's like, then I know something may be wrong.
Hey, come on, preach, man.
Something may be wrong. So, like you just mentioned, they want to talk about the parties. Just ask your child how was the day, or just, have some type of communication, because you never know what's going on. And sometimes the conversation with her might last 15 seconds.
Hey, come on, Mitch.
I just want to hear
In
her
my
voice
head.
to know that everything is cool, because I know today in her environment, the school she go to, in an environment is different than how it was when we were in school.
And now
it's different.
And Mitch, now you're teaching your child how to be relevant with the conversation with her parents.
Yeah.
We're not making our kids' lives are not relevant to a lot of parents because they're not meeting the kids where they are.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are not meeting the kids where they are. And for those that don't know the definition, that don't understand that, it's like Mitch simply said, ask your child, how was your day? And a lot of parents, this is where parents go wrong. If your kid is moping around the house and all this, you go right into, what's wrong with you? You got everything you want.
We did this. They close down.
They
shut down.
They done stepped back about 15 steps.
Yeah, they shut down.
You lost them.
Yeah, they're gone.
You can give them a hug. I don't know what you're going through, but daddy love you.
Yeah, that's it.
Sit down with me because I'm going through something right now. I just need my baby girl to sit right beside me and let me feed off your energy. Well, what does energy mean, Dad?
That's right.
You love me just as much as I love you. Right now, I need somebody in my presence that I know love me just as much as I love them.
Yeah. And you want to make sure their day went right.
At the end of the day.
Because more than likely 9 out of 10, all of them are in educational environments, and you want their educators to continue positively, and you don't want it to be interfered because of bullying.
There you go.
Or, kid might be depressed or something may be going on. So you want to know what's going on. And like I say, stop worrying about what adults are doing on social media and worry about what your kids are doing at home.
All right. We got a call on the line. Call you on the line. Hey, who we got? We got Brother Charles.
This brother Keith Charles on the line.
About time.
I know, right? Is that capital EZ pray? Capital EZ pray.
That is who it is.
Hey, baby. Now we good. Glad you called in. What's going on with you?
Man, hey, good to listen to the show, man. Y'all is talking about some really good stuff that needs to be talked about, man.
Amen.
Thanks, Keith.
But Keith, I want you this, when you got your own show, you can flip things up because me and Mitch are about supporting people, man. Hey, let my listeners know what Brother Charles got going on.
Well, right now, man, I got this going on, brother. A really hot novel is in the streets now. Easy Prey.
Okay.
Tearing up the little numbers right now, man. It's doing very well on Amazon and sold out Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's just flying off the shelf. It's a really good thriller, erotica, suspense, adult book, I'd say. It's called Easy Prey, man. It's fictional, man. I'm excited about how it's going. Right now, there's a lot of love. I'm in the streets now, just keep it out there.
Okay. The title of my man's book is Easy Prey. EZPREY. Easy Prey. It's a novel. It's an adult book. I know Keith, and Keith is probably one of the best dressed dudes in the DMV.
Sharp.
Mitch, don't you do it, Mitch?
I be looking like a bum compared to Keith, man. Keith sharp, man.
Hey, Keith, you don't want to turn me on to the red Chucks, Slim. I never in my life put on a pair of red Chucks, man. Low top jump. But that joint is a part of my repertoire now, Slim.
Hey, I thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I just wanted to give you that love, man. And I'm gonna keep pushing it, man, because we want our brothers that's actually doing well to get their notoriety. We all can eat off the same plate, man. Mm-hmm. We all can eat off the same, and we need people to get that concept. And at the end of the day, if my brother is doing 10 times better than me, then I feel good.
Absolutely.
That's just fact.
Hey, Archie, man, let me just say, first of all, congratulations on the show, man. I've been looking at you, listening to you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate what you're doing, man, and with much success to what you're doing. Also, to my brother, my partner next to you, man, Mitch Credle.
My man.
His whole book idea, man, first, man, through that brother right there. So, the whole story, one day we have time to talk about it. But Mitch, man, was very instrumental in this book becoming the way it's becoming. And, now we talking about looking at the book, making a movie, a feature film. So, who knows? God take it, man. It's just a good thing. But you're right, man. We support each other. We do stuff like this, man, and we help each other, man. And that's how you do it, man.
My man. All right, baby. Hey, thanks for calling in. And I'm going to get up with you. Fam.
I appreciate you.
My man. Again, that's my brother Keith Charles. Easy Prey. EZPREY. The Novel, get it. Help my brother out. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, help my brother out. Very powerful brother. My man, yes sir. We gonna get right back into it, man. So we left that bullet. Yeah, we gonna stop it. I'm gonna throw another one out. I'm gonna throw another one out at you. Nah, I won't do it because baby girl here. We gonna touch that one. But this, yeah. No, we good. Let my mind go. The missing dad. Let's talk about the missing dad. That's missing dad.
Ooh. Well, the missing dad is really not missing.
Yeah, okay.
He's not missing. He's out there.
He out there. Yep.
He's out there. He just don't want to do what he's supposed to do.
So we had a conversation last night. There was a dude that was in the audience last night, Mitch, and he made a lot of sense. He said that there is no dad out here that don't want to spend time with their child.
That's a lie.
Okay. Elaborate on it. Let's go.
I say that because
let's go.
What he just said, if you wanted to spend time with your child, you would.
You're a grown man.
You're a grown man, and if I'm gonna tell you something like
they
this.
They got Uber out here now, they got Lyft.
Man, let me tell you something. Even if the child's mother don't want you to see your child, you as a man can take your butt to court and file something to get visitation rights to see your child. Yep. But most men won't do that because they know child support will come into play.
Come on, man.
So you trying to tell me because you don't want to pay child support, you don't go to court to legally see your child? Come on, man, you're not a man.
And then that product, that seed that you planted, is now in this world wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
Because and I had this conversation with single moms, and I often ask them, allow me the opportunity to talk to the father. And I'm gonna tell you, for the guys that are listening, even the moms out here, pass this message on to your child's father that's not doing anything. All he has to do is pick a day out of the week.
Yeah, one.
Pick one day out of the week. Say that I'm gonna call this child every Wednesday at 8:30. Every Wednesday.
Yeah, start there.
You know how huge that'll be, Mitch, for that child? That's all it start there. Kids don't want a lot.
No, you're right, they don't.
Because first of all, because their mindsets are not even programmed to know how much they're really supposed to get from their parents. And that's why our parents are failing our kids, because now, we're being disrespectful to our kids. A lot, not you and I, because we in it.
But see, what get me though, Archie, is you don't want to take care of your child, but you get with a woman with kids. Man, I don't even want to finish this.
Go ahead, man. You got it's the truth.
You get with a woman with kids and help her with her kids, but you don't want to help your child.
Your child.
And especially if your child's mother have a man. You don't even want to go nowhere near that. You like, oh man, man, still your child, man.
You beefing with the dude. Yeah. First of all, you beefing with the dude. The dude don't even know you. The dude don't even care about you. You beefing with him.
I'll take care of your child.
Right.
But you're gonna take care of your woman and her children.
Right.
But you don't want to take care of your child.
So my thing with that, I'm gonna have a conversation with the dude.
That's crazy.
That's what they do though.
That's crazy.
You have to show your child that you're gonna protect that child no matter what. Yeah. I've seen homeless people that's walking with they got 3 and 4 kids.
Yeah.
Homeless.
I know.
And they taking care of their youngins. They ain't got nothing, Mitch.
They have nothing. They don't have nothing.
And the kids smiling.
There have been several times where I've bought families walking down the street food when I see them. Because I feel bad if I'm riding down the street eating and I see someone walking with their family.
That's how we raised, Mitch.
Yeah, I stop. I say, I run to somewhere real quick, grab a bag of food, McDonald's, whatever, and I try to catch it with them and give it to them. I feel bad because, we all a check away from homeless, as they say. I want to make sure to eat. So when you have strong, matter of fact, I take that word back, they're not strong. When you have healthy dads who are working, who are getting paychecks and don't want to spend time with their children because there's an issue with the mother of the child, come on, man, we have to do better than that. That relationship should not stop you from being a father to your child, especially when you're a superstar father to other people's children. Yours matter too.
Hey, Slim, you're a superstar to your mob. You're a superstar to everybody up at Colony South, everybody at the Paradigm.
Yeah.
You're a superstar.
Facebook Kings.
Right. You that dude.
Come on,
you that
man.
dude.
Take care of your kids.
But your youngin', got bad grades, don't know how to play catch, don't know how to tie shoestrings.
And I'm gonna tell you right quick, Archie.
Now go ahead.
Why fathers should be involved in their children's lives? Because they need a protector. Your child's mother may be dating a sexual predator.
That's why I was about to go there. But
okay?
Go ahead.
Your child's mother may be dating a sexual predator. Your child needs that protection. And that dude who's dating that mother, he knows now that father's involved.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there are so many sexual predators of kids that people don't know about. When I did them 3 years as a sexual assault detective, I was finding out guys that I don't really know them personally, but guys who I see around in D.C. at nightclubs, popping bottles, doing this and doing that, they sexual predators, man.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at them with people, kids, and I'm like, do the women know that?
Yeah.
So fathers, be involved in your kid's life. You are a protector, man. You don't want what I tell people, dads, you don't want another man raising your child.
You don't, especially if you're strong and able enough to do it yourself.
Because not only he may raise your child, he might start messing with your child.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm telling you, it's deep, man. They keep playing around. I'm telling you, I keep playing around.
The purpose of my show, the purpose of Mitch writing movies, the purpose of us having these conversations, and I say it all the time, we all know someone that need to hear this dialogue, but we refuse to pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, Archie show comes on at 6 o'clock. Mitch going live on Facebook. Every time Brother Mitch go live on Facebook, Mitch ain't edifying himself. Mitch go live on Facebook and he talking about everything for the betterment of our people. You have, once again, and we ain't even gonna get on the public figures that don't reach out to us, but our own people. And we gonna keep it real. Both Mitch and I have written books. We can count on our hands how many people that actually support us. And the people that support us, hey, as everybody say, if you know this don't relate to you, hey, don't even pay attention.
Don't get offended.
Don't even get offended. But there are countless of people that won't listen to brothers like ourselves that's giving solutions and speaking the real truth and trying to help you in some shape, form, or fashion to better your lives and your families, at your jobs, and even yourself, your inner self.
But if we were beefing, then we get attention.
Come on, man. We ain't got but an hour on the show.
Let's beef for a week. Let's get some views.
Man, I ain't gonna never beef with you.
No, but you understand what I'm saying?
But you understand what I'm saying? That'll be World Star Hip. What is that, y'all?
Yeah,
World Star.
Yeah, World. There you go.
World Star.
There you go.
But the thing about it, that's what people look for. People look for beefs. I tell all the time, conversation lasts long when you're talking negative about somebody. But when you're talking positive, people are so quick to end the conversation.
Go from a paragraph to a sentence.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Nigga said I got 5 minutes. My dynamite engineer said I got 5 minutes. And we gonna do what we do in this 5 minutes. So Mitch, I said this early on when I first had my show. If you had a magic wand, man. If you had a magic wand and the Lord above said, hey, I'm going to give you this magic wand, and if there's one thing that you can change in society, what would you use that magic wand for?
To change, I would say to help change mindsets.
Okay.
And I say mindsets because everything starts with mindsets. Everything within the home, everything within the communities, everything within the police department, everything within the public official's office, everything starts with mindsets. And I would want mindsets to be changed in a way where everything is geared towards helping the people opposed to helping those who really don't need it. Because DC is changing, and what's happening is a lot of people who need help are being ignored. And that goes from social services, that goes from violence. A lot of people are being ignored because DC is changing so much. My thing is this, there's nothing wrong with changing DC for the betterment of everyone, but let's just not change it for a group of people and forget those who need help, because they're still our brothers and sisters, and we're turning our backs to our own. And it's sad because we all were those people one day, and we most definitely need to reach back and help each other. But it starts from the top because people down at the bottom, we're in the gutter.
We're in the gutter. Yeah,
You know, we don't make decisions, so we're in the gutter.
And the thing about it, I mean, you touched on it, man. A degree doesn't define your journey and your walk.
A degree only defines that you graduated.
You graduated. And a lot of people that chase these degrees and get these doctorates, they get burnt out.
Yeah.
So when we're street dudes, we're community-related dudes, we're going to keep marching. And I'm going to give a shout-out to my man, Ron Moten.
Oh, yeah. Big shout-out, Ron.
I'm going to give a shout-out to him. There are a lot of people, I don't care how you feel about a person, but a person, they showing you consistency and doing something great.
I know.
Come on, what happened? And I always touch on it. Dr. King, at an early age, he would leave his house every day not knowing if he was going home. And the good Lord, I thank you, Jesus, because he just gave me, I was thinking about it all week. Back in the day, slavery and all that, well, we're going to go past slavery. Our civil rights leaders, they didn't need years and years and years to make change.
Yeah.
They was making changes in months and in weeks and months when they wanted to be heard.
No, you're right.
So what we're doing as a people, we've been a lot of people been complaining for 15 years about a problem, but they ain't doing nothing about it to change it.
No.
But the people before us, they did something about it.
They did. But see, this is how I look at leadership, and you can relate because you're a coach. I won so many city titles, national titles, because as a youth coach, the coaches who work with me were either equal to or better than me.
Amen. Come on, man.
Okay? We were successful because our assistant coaches were equal to or better.
Amen.
So if I'm in charge of something, I want those kind of people on my team. I don't want yes people.
Okay. All right. Well, Mitch, man, and you know we got to do it again, Slim.
Yeah, man.
We got to do it.
Anytime, man.
We got to do it again. Wow.
Love your platform. Keep rocking.
Amen. I love you, champ. You know me. I ain't afraid to say it. That's my dude. Once again, man, people out here suffering. Families are suffering. Individuals are suffering. Lawyers are suffering. Pastors are suffering. The world is suffering, y'all. And we directing all our attention on the president, and we finding all types of excuses to blame something on somebody else. At the end of the day, if you start out by taking care of your home, your immediate family, making sure everybody in your house is doing right, then the world will be a better place. Once again, I love each and every last one of you guys. This is the Archie Beslow Radio Show. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna keep grinding because I'm gonna change somebody's life. If it takes it to me ending my life, I'm going to change somebody's life.
There you go.
WL 95.9 FM, 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com. Information is power. This is the Archie Beslow Radio Show. Let's figure it out. God loves you guys, and so do I. See you next week.
Bye. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Much love.
You can be anything in the world, and God we trust. An architect, doctor, maybe an actress, but nothing comes easy. It takes much practice. Like I met a woman.
Hey, bro, thanks. I appreciate it.
She was very beautiful, leaving people in awe, singing songs, Rena Horn with the younger brother.
Hey, look, we still on the air, Father. I'm concerned. Let me tell you all something, man. Keep supporting this brother here, man. It's real talk, man. He's a good dude, man. I love this brother to death, man. He's from the heart. He's always been from the heart. He ain't one of them fake dudes who only. This is what he's not doing it for social media. He's not doing it for likes. He's not doing it for views. We don't even deal with those kind of dudes, man. We've been around for a long time. We real, man. Archie, keep rocking.
Thank you, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Yes, sir. That's my dog.
That's it.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week. Hey, we're going to change lives. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Peace.